Welcome back, gamers, to the channel. John Boy here. Following up on my previous video of ranking the light side Saber heroes only, I am doing the dark side Saber heroes only. And this is strictly for dueling purposes only. My own personal preference on how I like to use the characters. So I hope you enjoy the video. Number 5, General Grievous.
Surrender! And I promise you will die quickly.
It was hard for me to rank the bottom half of this tier because all of the dark side heroes are really good. They're all good. So like, you know, 5, although at the bottom, he's still a great great character and a usable character in duels. But my reasonings behind this is because A, his stamina is terrible. That was just 2 shots of a blaster and boom, there it is. So although yeah, it's a 1v1, so you're not going to be taking on a bunch of dudes, still his stamina is not great. His ability, his claw rush, knocks your opponent down, right? That's great. But if you miss those hits, and they're easy to, you know, get out of the way if you're on the opposing side, you can still take damage. You can kind of parry them, and like somebody can still hit you with their saber while you're doing that. So that's not a plus. His thrust, it's very easy to see it coming. You know, it's this huge. Clearly, he's about to do it, right? Very easy to tell, and it's easy to block, and it's not. And it would be invincible if he can get through the block, because some abilities do for other heroes, but his does not. So it's easy to see him coming, and it's easy to block, and you can parry that like 2 hits into there if you end up parrying it. His last one is this. You're slower, your sensitivity to move around is slower, and as an opponent, you can just dash through him and hit him in the back. And yeah, experienced players don't use it for the full time duration, to be fair, but it's just not that great. It's just not that great. So Grievous, number 5 spot today.
I sense your fear.
Number 4. Don't hate me for this one, because this was a really, really difficult decision for me as well. And this is also from my experience of using Maul. And like I said earlier, although it's on the later half of the tier, they're still great characters and totally usable. But for Maul, first thing that stands out to me is his health. He has the least amount of health between any light or dark hero. But yeah, health is not great. And the other one that really, really bugs me with Maul, let's get to this AI over here, is the window for him to do his force choke. Where the heck is he? He's inside? Whatever, I'll just show you here. So starting now to about right in that area, I can't move, I can't cancel the animation. My character will have to do the animation the full cycle through. Let's see it again. So can't move, and now I can move. Now if you're dueling, most of the time you're going to be going up against pretty experienced players, right? And so if you don't land that choke, they can close up in you really quick and get a few hits, on top of having terrible health anyway. Yeah, some could argue and put him at 3, maybe even the number 2 spot, because of his abilities are just super quick and whatever. But for me, in my experience, and the people who I've played against, I've just come to realize that although great, I can't get past the fact of his health and that animation. God, a lot of characters suffer from this, but Maul, number 4 today.
I've become more powerful than any Jedi.
Number 3, Dooku.
This is not the way of the
Dooku's
Sith.
great, man. 3 because if I'm thinking again, strictly dueling,
To the last.
you get your duelist active, you can swing way quicker and do some crazy amount of damage in a very, very short amount of time. But let's say you get exposed weakness, which is what that was, duelist. You have a time window here. You can kind of read your opponent's block, you can parry, put some damage on them, and you have 3 dashes. That's huge, so he can take on more opponents with that extra dash in there. And then once you kind of read and feel out your opponent, you can time a lightning, And if your duelist is already active and, you know, exposed weakness is already active, you can put some crazy amount of damage in a very, very short amount of time. So you may be wondering, well, why the heck is he at 3? Well, because he's easy to counter. I think, and at least in my experience, yeah, he can swing faster with his duelist, but a lot of opponents that you're going to be going against can force push him, do whatever with him and get him out of your way, and then your window of opportunity is gone. And I feel like he can take a lot of damage in a bad way. Like his health, for some reason, in my experience, it feels as if he just takes so much damage so easily. And so that's why I put him at number 3. I think there's better abilities with other heroes that help you move more freely as a hero. So Dooku, number 3 today. Before I go any farther, because I feel like most people will know who's number 2 and who's number 1, I wanted to thank everyone who's been subscribing lately. I just hit 50 subs like a couple days ago, and I'm at 52. And yeah, it's just 2 subs, but for me, it's like, dude, people are enjoying this. They want to watch, and I want to thank y'all for watching and interacting and doing all that you're doing. It's making me excited, and it makes me feel like, you know, what I have to say about this game, although it's just my personal opinion, people enjoy it and like to hear it. So I want to thank y'all for subscribing and liking and commenting and doing all that stuff. Back to the video.
I will show you the dark side.
Number 2.
The dark side.
I feel like this was an easy or obvious decision here. Kylo Ren. He was my main for quite some time. And the reason for putting him at number 2 and not number 1, because I feel like everyone knows who's number 1 and why would I put Kylo over that person, is because his abilities. He has a pull and a freeze, and then his frenzy, which I can't use unless I'm next to somebody. But let's start with his frenzy, right? Now, experienced players know about frenzy. They know about every character's abilities, right? So with frenzy, the first 2 of the 3 that it takes to do frenzy, like he'll do 3 swings. The first 2, you can block those, but the third one will always go through a block, no matter what. No matter what, it'll go through the block and you'll get a hit on somebody. That's fantastic. That continues to put pressure on people if they're being really defensive and you're just trying to get past that. That's fantastic. His pull, you can do it standing on the ground, or you can jump with high sensitivity and move around and still be able to use it. And that's what I mean by better abilities compared to like Dooku. I'm not really free with it. Jumping with Dooku, you can't even put that in your ideas or tricks or strategy. You can't. It doesn't matter. But with him, I can. The same with the freeze. I can be on the ground. I can jump and do it, which is fantastic. And you can combine the freeze with the pull. Now they're on the ground. You can do the frenzy on top of, you know, the regular movement for any character and the parrying. It's just, Kylo is so diverse. His abilities are fantastic. They're deadly. They're usable in a lot of situations. So Kylo Ren, number 2, man, hands down.
I find your lack of faith disturbing. Would be honored if you would join us.
Well said, Vader. Clearly, spot number 1, as you may have guessed, Vader. Vader is the tankiest of tanks out there. His base health, without any ability, without any extra whatever, 950. 950. That is ridiculous. So he can take some hits. And with that being said, if you know how much health you have and you're looking at your opponent's health, there's times where you can just outswing them, outspam them, because you just have more health, because you're Vader. Now let's talk about his abilities. The Saber throw. That can go, obviously it throws it, and you can, okay, so check this out. You can throw it, it comes right back to you straight, or you throw it, the enemy moves, and it kind of curves around a little bit, a little curve ball. So you can get that hit on the way back. And there's a star card to make that second hit on the way back do more damage, which is fantastic. The obvious one, the choke. His force choke. Yeah, you have to kind of like learn to use that effectively and really read your opponent's movements and when that window of opportunity is to use that. But if you use it, let's go to this AI over here. There's so much combos you can do with that. So AI is coming out. You can choke them. Obviously, they don't have a lot of health, but while they're in the air, you can throw a saber on them. As soon as they fall, there's a window of opportunity to swing a couple times while they're on the ground. That's insane, right? That's so much combo, so much damage, so much just nuts. Now his last one is Focus Rage. Gives him more health. I took a little damage, but it's 1150 on the health. Are you kidding me? That's so much health. That's so much health. Like, so to compare to some blaster heroes, that's nearly double their health. That's mental. Now with the Focus Rage, I want to say that I'm not 100% on this, but his stamina is better with that, and he takes less damage, and he deals more damage depending on the star card. And so all of those combos that I previously said with Focus Rage is just, dude, he's just great. It's Vader, man. And the cool thing about it is that people who may be watching this video, if you want to get better at duels, start with Vader, man. Because there's been times when not even an experienced player is using Vader, and I'm just like, oh, I can beat this guy. But then I end up losing sometimes because of Vader's just health. And so I don't really, I take it for granted. It's like, I can just kill this guy real quick, whatever, but Vader's health, man, that gives you more time to learn movements, learn characters, and so on and so forth. The negative things real quick about Vader is his stamina, and I should have said that earlier, but his stamina is not great at all. It's not as bad as Grievous's, I don't think, but his stamina is not great, and he's a little slow. He's a tank, he's slower, and when he jumps in the air, he kind of floats. And so if there's a blaster on you, don't ever jump, because you can't do anything. You're just like boop, 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 boop. You're taking a lot of damage. But yeah, man, Vader. Alright, well, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I hope you can appreciate and understand the reasonings behind a lot of these rankings and explanations. And again, everyone has their own playstyle. Everybody uses different characters the way they want to use them, and that's fine. If you have an input or just like a discussion that you want to say, comment down below, and I'll see what you have to say about it. And I would love, because I mean, it's Star Wars, dude. That's the whole point I'm doing these videos. A, because I love this game, and B, I love nerding out to Star Wars. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, thank you for watching. Comment down below, like, do all the things, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh wow, I never noticed that over there. What?